So hello our dear UK viewers, as promised in our last video, which was the unboxing of the Umidigi S3 Pro, I would now do a full review of the phone now that I've had it for a week and been using it as my primary phone. The phone is available factory unlocked, which means you can buy a SIM-only deal from any of your UK mobile networks and it will work on any of them, whether it's Vodafone, O2, EE, or any of the other networks which are available in the country, which is a great thing firstly. In terms of the screen, it's got a beautiful 1080p display, 6.3 inches with a teardrop notch, which is not as obtrusive as some of the other phones which are currently out of the market, which are at least 3 times as more expensive than this one, which have a much larger square notch which take up a lot of the display. This has a very discrete teardrop notch, which is great. Gives you much more screen. The display is also pretty vivid and the colors are quite bright, which is also absolutely great for the price of the phone. Now, in terms of processor, the phone comes with a MediaTek Helio P70 processor, so it's not a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, which you might find worrying. But I think I'm quite impressed so far with the Helio P70, even though normally the MediaTek processors aren't as great. This one seems to be pretty versatile, gets you to do a lot of things at the same time. You can open up apps with great speed and it feels like a dream. You can actually play some high-end games like PUBG Mobile on the phone really well, and there is absolutely no drag, and that is down to one, the processor being pretty speedy, but also the fact that the phone comes with 6 gigs of RAM, which is absolutely amazing, and 128 gig of internal storage, which means you can absolutely store millions of photos and videos with no requirement of putting anything on the cloud. Again, for a phone which is worth $279, which is about 200 UK pounds, this is pretty great, because even phones like the iPhone XS Max or XS Max come with 64 gig for at least 3 times more the price of this, right? As you know, it comes at nearly £1,000. The battery in the phone is impressive as well. I have sometimes spent more than 2 days without having to charge this phone. The battery is of 150 milliamps, which is pretty impressive for a phone which is what I said, supposed to be a budget phone. It comes with Android 9 Pie, which is the latest version of Android, as you can see, which is pretty much the stock version rather than a bloated version, which is also much more cleaner and doesn't require a huge amount of customizations from the vendor, Umidigi. The camera specs on the phone were touted to be amazing. You know, this comes with, as you can see, a 48 megapixel Sony sensor, 12 megapixel secondary telephoto camera, and a 20 megapixel selfie camera, which in itself sounds really impressive. But you may have seen some sort of reviews already online from other users outside the UK stating that it's not as impressive as they thought. This is probably down to the software that the vendor Umidigi has put on the phone, which needs to be improved. The pictures are great, I think, for the price that you pay for the phone, but you can't expect it to be as great as a Samsung S10 or a iPhone XS Max or a Huawei P30 Pro in that sense. But for what you get for the price, and I think that the camera is phenomenal. Now, it's not perfect, but I also believe that the vendor Umidigi are about to release a new update in the coming days, which should solve some of the blurriness of the pictures and the lack of front-facing bokeh and some of the other areas which I think can be made better. So I personally am looking forward to the upcoming update to see how that improves the performance of the camera. But again, as I say, I will be posting some samples of videos and pictures I've taken with this phone, with this camera recently, and you can be the judge of it yourself.
So here you get some great footage with some low light conditions. I can zoom straight into that horse there, and it's very clear. We got a pony here. Look at the detail. Right up front, the fur. And look at the light that's hitting it. I would say for a $300 phone, this is some good quality there.
And you will have seen some video footage which I've also included at 1080p and 30 frames per second, which I think is pretty solid for a phone of this range. But again, I'll let you be the judge of that as you look at it yourself. In terms of the design of the phone, I think it's very attractive. It's got this ceramic build, which feels very premium. It's been made of some really good materials, I think. Like I said, the teardrop notch. It's got a very small chin. The Sony sensor is absolutely great. It's got the fingerprint scanner at the back, the 12 megapixel teleport, the flash, as well as the Umidigi logo. Apart from the fact that you get some fingerprints on it because of the great ceramic back, but nevertheless feels absolutely great. The screen, again, because of the size of it, 6.3 inch HD, allows you to view content at great pace, very good quality. So it's very good for watching video content. The back is, as I said, very polished and obviously looks very like a flagship phone. The camera module and the fingerprint scanner on the back, as I showed you. On the right hand side you have the power button and the volume rocker. On the left hand side you have both the SIM tray as well as the slot for the SD card if you want to extend the RAM any further. At the top it's got a noise cancelling microphone. At the bottom, as you can see, it's got the speakers, the USB-C type slot for charging as well as data transfer. It's got the 3.5 millimeters jack for a headphone, which also is pretty unique for these days, where other manufacturers are removing them for different type of headphone jacks, which are not compatible with the typical ones, which is also great. And as you can see, the Android version here is pretty much stock. It's Android 9 Pie with no bloatware. All these additional apps you see here are my own additions, which I've added recently as I've started to use the phone with specific applications which are very much usable here in the UK, such as the transport for National Rail, the Tube Map, buying and selling things on eBay, and the usual WhatsApp, all the Google apps are there as well, and all the essentials required. But I think the usage is very powerful. It has absolutely no lag at all, and it feels absolutely quick in that sense. In terms of security features on the phone, you have the fingerprint scanner, which I think is pretty quick, as you can see how it quickly unlocks. In the settings you will see you can also have other things such as a facial unlock, which I haven't tried myself, but I know it should work pretty well because it's a standard Android. The fingerprint scanner, as I said, is very, very quick, to locking and unlocking. feels really quick. And in terms of other things, you know, it's a dual SIM phone as well, which is, I think, another great feature of this phone for the price that we have it, which means if you want to have two SIM cards in this phone, one for your work, maybe one for your personal life, you can obviously use it near enough as two phones without having to have two handsets. And it makes your life a lot easier and quicker. In terms of what comes with the box, as I said from my last unboxing video, you will see, apart from the thank you card, the instructions and the SIM pin that comes with it, it comes with a really unique USB-C type cable, which is quick charge. But I think what's unique about it is how this cable is in terms of the material that it's made of, and the fact that it's impossible to tangle up, I think, which is also pretty different and unique about this. The block charger, which is supposedly a quick charger, but I need to still test that. But as I am based in the UK, as I said, we've got the 3-pin charger adapter. The phone came with its own case, back case, which is also great, and I'm starting to use that pretty much on a daily basis for protection. I haven't dropped the phone to see how much it would protect the case, but I mean how much the case would protect the phone, but so far it seems to at least stop any cosmetic scratches from coming if I did mishandle it a bit. The camera app, as I said, has got quite a few features in terms of the AI and not AI. You can set up with anti-shake, you can stop the flickering. You can also decide what sort of size of the picture you want, from 48 megapixels, as you can see, all the way down to 2 megapixels. There is various other features in terms of how you may want to use the keys to control the phone, in terms of volume buttons to capture a phone and to switch to different modes. The modes available are the standard picture to take. There's a pro mode, which is more for professionals, that you can change the settings yourself. There's a bokeh mode, which is basically the same as or similar to the portrait mode on an iPhone or other similar phones. You have slow motion, and you have other similar settings such as that, which are obviously also available, like the video, which is 1080p 30 frames per second. There's also a time-lapse mode, which is also quite fun. And as you can see from the stuff I've posted on this video, they are of decent quality. And you know, I guess in terms of the overall verdict, I think from the phone, from my particular point in time view, is that for the price of just shy of £200, which is an absolutely great price, this phone has got some really great features and specs. The performance is solid. The battery of 150 milliamps is also astonishing. You know, I have gone for about 1.5 to 2 days without charging it so far, which is also a great thing to have. And you know, I guess the price, as I said, is the standout feature for here. You can't expect it to be as equivalent to an iPhone XS Max or a Huawei P30 Pro, for example, in terms of maybe the camera features. But again, hopefully, once the new update that comes out by Umidigi this coming week could improve the camera a bit further. But for the price that you pay, you know, it's I think quite a great camera. So for a phone which is £200 or, you know, sub $300, I think it ticks all the boxes for a phone that I would need at this price. So in summary, the question you might be asking yourself, is it worth buying? Is the Umidigi S3 Pro a good buy? In my opinion, as I said before, I think for a phone which is worth in the market currently £200 sterling or $300 or below, to be honest, you can get it for $279 at the moment. It is a great buy. You're getting a battery which is going to last you about 2 days without having to charge it again. You're getting on paper, on hardware, great set of cameras. Now, as I said before, I think some software updates could help this to reach its full potential, which Umidigi, I believe, has promised they will be releasing, which I'll be looking out for. But the pictures seem to be decent enough. Again, the build quality is pretty solid. You're getting a free cover at the back for the phone. You're getting specs which are 128 gig RAM and 6 gig ROM. Again, that is something which is a plus feature, and for this particular price range, you're getting a lot more for your specs versus anything else in this particular price range. You're getting a phenomenal 1080p screen, 6.3 inches, and quick charging, and so there's really a lot of stuff which is missing in the phone. And it's very, very rapid. So all in all, again, as in summary, I think if you bought this phone, you'd be pretty happy, and it should give you some good usage for a while. It's pretty modern and slick, and the design is quite pretty as well, and quite striking. So I would say it's something you should consider buying, and I think you'd be happy if you got it. So that's great. I hope you enjoyed the video, and check the links for the latest price of the phone, and hit like and subscribe to my channel, and please let other people know about the channel as well. And we'll carry on posting more videos of both this phone, any other features I find, as well as any other phones we're going to start reviewing, which should be hopefully entertaining content for yourself. Once again, thank you for joining this i-WearTec review, and any questions, just publish in below, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Thank you.